Next topic is tourism impact, and we got David Robinson from Regional Parks. He's going to talk about the shuttle and waste plans.
All right, good evening. Thank you, Chair and members of the Lower MAC. Can everybody hear me okay? Great. So as we all know, summer is coming up and we are not through with COVID yet. Hopefully there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. So we're anticipating big crowds again in the lower Russian River. We expect big crowds again on the coast, of course, too. And what we've learned over the past year is that sometimes parks are really the only game in town and have been during COVID-19. And we see people coming from all over the area, and we see the impacts that it has on the places that we love as Sonoma County residents, but also that the other communities also have grown to love and has become impacted, greatly impacted. So I thought there's probably questions about what we're going to do this year and what we've done in the past. So I'm just going to go through a list of what our plans are for this season as we move forward. It's mid-February. I'd just like to start by going over what we've done or what we did last year, which was definitely a different year than we've ever seen. We saw that every day during the summer was like a weekend day, and every weekend was like the 4th of July holiday. So we saw almost an 80% increase in visitorship throughout the park system, which affected, of course, trash, utilities, staffing. We couldn't hire enough staff because we couldn't get people through the physicals. Kaiser wasn't letting folks through. So it was a really, really rough summer season, and the season lasted from March till I think we finally slowed down maybe mid-October to November. So we're planning on something similar. And what we did last year, which many of you probably saw out there, is we increased signage. We tried to educate folks. We put out electronic signs. We changed overflow parking lots into drop-off areas so that people could drop folks off and they could use our facilities rather than going to the neighborhoods and just using the facilities where they shouldn't. We put out mask dispensers for folks. We had education stations where we educate people on how to behave, how to be good neighbors, and also how to stay safe with COVID. We increased the trash services almost double what we usually do. We created boat launch chutes so that people could still launch their boats while people were recreating along the river. We had staff cleaning neighborhoods as they were able. We closed some parks. We ended up closing quite a few parks, and then on busy weekends, we tried closing some of the river parks specifically, and then we restricted park walk-in access. We did Facebook and social media boosts to the greater Bay Area, and we did outreach education campaigns to park members. So we did all those things, and we're going to continue to do all those things again, with the exception of closing parks and restricting walk-ins to parks. We found that that didn't work. What we see is that, like many things, it's like a tube of toothpaste. If you squeeze one area, it goes to the other area. And we saw huge impacts and safety impacts when we closed those parks because people have decided they're coming and they're going to show up. New to 2021, we've got some exciting new ideas, and we're willing to try most anything. We're going to add additional porta potties. Specifically, we're going to get 4 new porta potties at Steelhead Beach. So we'll get 2 at the access area up top so people can drop folks off and let them use the facilities there so they're not going to the neighborhoods again. 2 on the beach to protect the river because we're seeing that people are using the facilities, non-facilities down by the river if they don't have access to close ones. We're going to thin some vegetation and place 2 additional portable toilets at Mom's Beach for river access. We're going to throw another 2 additional portable toilets at Sunset proper and 1 on Sunset Avenue. We're going to move the gate down from Sunset Beach so that it doesn't impact River Road so much if that's a safety issue. We're getting additional trash cans again. We're doing a recycling with an education station. So for folks that didn't know, we haven't had recycling out there because people throw trash in it. And so we're going to try and staff the recycling and the trash so that people actually do recycle the right things and don't throw their trash in the recycling. We're going to increase staffing even more than last year. We're hiring services to help clean neighborhoods after busy weekends. So we're going to try and work with Russian River Keeper and the river team if available, and if not, we'll use our probation department to help with that because we want to be good neighbors. And we understand that this is an attraction that brings people from everywhere. We're going to do a single-use plastic education campaign. One of the most disheartening things in the river is when you see at sunset all these single-use plastics just thrown away in the dumpster. People come and buy these $15, cheapo bits and then just leave them. And they might work, they might not, but that all goes just straight into the dumpster, which is just, it sickens me. So we're going to do a campaign. We currently have a request for proposals that will go out for tube rentals, so people can maybe rent tubes. And we have a request for proposal for shuttle services. We had this ready last year to have a shuttle service that would frequent Steelhead and Sunset beaches for tubers and for beachgoers, that would allow them to not take 2 different cars and just completely block the parking lot, or to bring 5 different cars. And the idea is that hopefully there's a private service that'll want to do this. I believe it will be somewhat fairly lucrative, to be honest. And the RFP, which is a request for proposal from a private agency, does have the caveat that if they don't have private land to do this on, that the county may have some property that we can use for that. So we'll be putting that out shortly, hopefully having a contractor the contractor will have to adhere to COVID-19 guidelines, but like I said, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And then we'll be doing additional park ranger patrols. So we understand the impacts this has on the community out there. We're growing up in West County myself. It's very different. The times are very different from when I used to go to Steelhead Beach as a kid. So we're trying to mitigate these increases in visitation. And I look forward to any questions that you have, or any recommendations that you can give us.
Hey, Pip, you need to unmute, Pip.
Sorry about that. Alice, you had your hand up really fast, so we'll go to you first.
Yeah, hi, David. I was wondering if you could put up a contact information, or if you could send that out to the MAC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Nick?
I was curious if you have jurisdiction or know who does for the summer crossing towards the west end of Guerneville, the dam and summer crossing out there.
Regional Parks does not have jurisdiction over that. And I'm not sure off the top of my head who has the summer crossing. Isn't that the Oddfellows?
It's Russian River Recon Park.
Recon Park for Johnson's? Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? Vesta?
First of all, I want to thank you very much for the efforts that you have for Steelhead Beach, because that's where I live, and appreciate the cleanups in the neighborhoods and all the rest of it. It has been pure hell all summer, every summer, especially last summer. And like in terms of the shuttle services, are you saying something about that land where people would come to and then get on their buses and then be shuttled to the parks? I don't know where you're going to find that.
I don't know. I don't know either yet, to be honest, but it's a trial basis, and we do have a park that's in mind that where we have had overflow parking that's fairly centrally located, and we can use it for a trial. And the idea is that people coming from San Francisco or from out of the area can park there, use the facilities, dump their trash there, get on a shuttle, and then get picked up too. So it would decrease that impact by having a couple of, at this point, I guess it'd be vans instead of buses. Ideally, it was like, let's find some school buses and let's just, shuttle people around like Berks does. I'm not sure where we'll be at what point during the summer where you can't have 24 to 40 people on a bus.
Oh, that's true. The space on the bus. I forgot about that.
Right.
I appreciate everything you've been doing, and I want to just make sure that you get recognition for it, because it has had a negative impact, and then what you've been doing does have a more positive impact. Do you have any rules around neighbors going down the trails and removing ivy from trees or any of that kind of stuff? Because a lot of our neighbors who go into, say, Steelhead Beach and love to go on Osprey Trail and all, want to help with cleanup and fire mitigation and things like that. If you have rules for neighbors to do that, we would love to know about it, so that we do and do not do what you want us to do.
Thank you. No, we'd love to have neighbors help out. And we actually have a great volunteer program where we can sign up neighbors as a volunteer. They get the fingerprinting and they get the, they actually get a park pass. So each year they'll get a park pass. And if they're either doing public work days, that's usually the best way to do it, because then we can plan on providing the supplies, and we can kind of point folks in the right direction. And if there's specific trails, we're definitely open to it. And it's a great way for us to get help out there when, as you know, we're fairly, we're stretched thin. It's tough.
Okay, appreciate that, because we have a bunch of us who want to do something, so thank you. And are you the person to contact, or is it John, who's the?
John's our volunteer coordinator, but yeah, John Ryan. But contact me if you get a group together, and I'll forward you all to John, and he's been doing online volunteer trainings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, David. Anyone else on the council have any questions? All right, given that, we'll go to public questions.
We got 2 hands raised right now. The first is Andrew Lippett. Andrew, unfortunately, you're using an older version, so I'm going to have to promote you really quickly to get your question in.
Hello, yes.
Sorry about that, Andrew. Could you unmute yourself again, please?
There we go. This is actually just a comment for somebody who had a question earlier. It is Russian River Park and Rec that deal with the dam, specifically at Johnston's Beach, as well as Vacation Beach, that connects Neely Road to 116. But the bridge that is there is part of county roads. So the dam is different from the bridge. So did you catch that? No? I'm sorry. One moment.
You're kind of breaking up, Andrew. And Linda actually clarified that too in the chat.
Did you get that? No? No? Okay, sorry.
All right.
Then I'm good. I'm done. I'm
Okay.
done.
Thanks, Andrew. Kind of hard to hear you. Is it Eric that has the hand up? Did we lose Jason?
Nope, I'm here. We got Eric Fraser next. And okay, Eric.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you, David Robinson, for that really good report. We really appreciate the dedication that park employees have and everybody has to recreation in the county. A couple comments that I have. Hopefully the increase in park usage has also resulted in an increase in donations and permit collection and people purchasing passes and things like that. And if not, I think it would be a great opportunity to really promote that. Our research shows that predominantly the people that use regional parks are from people from within the county. Although, of course, there are people that come from outside the county, sometimes driving as much as 2 or 3 hours to get here and use our various parks, sometimes our regional parks, but not always. And of course, there may be sometimes people that drive up from San Francisco or whatever, but I would say that a shuttle service would be more appropriate to shuttle people from the 101 corridor. It might be a little more ambitious than what you have in mind, but I really think that the commitment that we must share in Sonoma County is similar to what they have in the Coastal Commission's mandate, and that is making sure that we're encouraging visitation from people within our county and other Californians as well. So, and I also dictate that, or I also see that there's a flaw sometimes in our outreach because we're not really reaching out to people that should have a vested interest, and that is our visitors and our users. They need to be educated, they need to be involved, and I bet you if asked, they would contribute to the solution more than just go forward in ignorance and impacts. Thank you again for your time. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Eric. Okay. We have next is Elise Sokole.
Okay.
Elise, go ahead.
Okay. Yes. I live on Tyrone Road and I wanted to know your plans for the new regional park. I spoke to some of your rangers who are out here and they said that the only access to the trails in the park would be on Tyrone Road where there is no parking. And it's a rather pathetic and somewhat dangerous little road. We sometimes have people wandering around my hill looking for various vacation rentals or other things and putting us in rather dangerous situations on these roads. So we're really concerned, is the park going to be opening this spring even in a limited way? And what are people going to do what are they going to do about parking? And how are you going to direct them? And all of those questions. That's all.
Thanks, Elise. I am not the expert. We're planning that out right now. So we recently acquired it as a piece of it's really through a through property that has access to multiple other properties. Steve Arrett, our planning manager, I believe is queued. I'm not sure if Elise, I can't see Elise right now, but is queued up to answer questions about tour and present kind of the plans going forward with that. We do have a interim public access plan, which we put forward with the Ag and Open Space District that will allow some access, but it'll be small access of guided hikes. It's not going to be open to the public for until the master planning process is done, and he'll be able to answer those questions.
Great. We only have Andrew Lippett, who got cut off. He posted in the Q&A what he was trying to say, and I'll just go ahead and read it. He said, "My apologies. What I wanted to say was that the two dams along the Guerneville area are under Russian River Park and Rec District, but the bridge connecting Neely Road, Neely Road, Highway 116 is under county roads, completely separate." Okay, that's, well, we got Tony Goodwin over here.
Hi
Go ahead,
there.
Tony.
David, thank you again. We cherish our parks. I don't know what we'd do without them. But you know, I brought up at I think last year or the year before at one of the meetings at East Austin Creek, right where the two creeks converge, Austin Creek and East Austin Creek in Cazadero. It's about 3 miles in from 116. We discovered it's a county park, a whole lot of area there, and we have a lot of folks come out and enjoy the creek. The situation that has risen is that we end up with a lot of trash and diapers and people going to the bathroom, you know, all over other people's properties, trespassing and stuff like that. I was proposing that maybe we could get a trash can and a porta potty there during the heavy season, the summer season. And, you know, with this COVID thing, we have had a lot of folks. I mean, we've had folks coming up the creek and coming through our yards because people are just trying to get out. They're trying to get out and get some fresh air. And I totally understand. But we'd love to see or maybe I'd ask if there was something you can do, because it sounds like you're expanding the porta potty placement and trash can placement. If there was a way I could get East Austin Creek, that swimming area on your radar. Thank you, David.
Let me get back to you, Tony. I'm unfamiliar with that property. It doesn't sound like it's a regional park. It might be an ag and open space property or another parcel of property. So let me get back to you on that one.
I appreciate that.
Okay. That's going to do it for our comments here. Chair? If you're,
Keep forgetting to take myself off mute, darn it. If I kept myself off mute, my dogs would, like, you'd hear them singing. Anyway, so given that we are past the public comment on that, I want to thank David so much for spending his time with us. It was super informative. And I have heard a lot of positive feedback, so that's great.